Well, this is the continuation of the video. While the women were at home making these egg biscuits, the men and the rest of the warriors of Greece were out fighting many battles. The first battle would be against Philip II, and Demosthene was a man who brought warning to Greece that Philip II was trying to take over Greece, and he was a threat to Greece. So, by the time Greece realized this, though, Philip II of Macedonia had already gained control of many of the city-states and took over control of most of Greece. Soon after this, though, he was murdered, and his son, Alexander the Great, only 20, that would be my brother cheering for the Bengals. But Alexander the Great, his son, who gained the throne at only 20 because of his father's murder, became the ruler of Macedonia and fought the Persians at this time, which was Philip II, his father's main intention after he had conquered Greece. Alexander the Great was, his name obviously was Alexander. He gained his title after his death. He did a lot of great things. Right now, that is stirring, and it is very good, just saying. In the spring of 334 BC, Alexander and his 37,000 soldiers invaded Asia Minor, and he had 5,000 mounted warriors, which means they were on horses. And Alexander, he had a tendency to lead into the battle, which is kind of odd for this time because the king / leader would basically just be directing from the back or wherever he was, or not even in the battle. But Alexander took the lead into the battle, and he himself brought his life into danger doing this, but he didn't die until farther on, so he was either a really good fighter or really lucky. Alexander and his army destroyed the forces of the Persian satraps at the Battle of Granicus. By the following year, Alexander had freed the Greek cities in Asia Minor from Persian rule and defeated a large Persian army at Issus. He turned south to Egypt, and by the winter he had conquered Syria and Egypt. Then he built the very famous city of today, Alexandria, which became a city of business and trade. By 331 BC, he had turned east and defeated the Persians at Gaugamela, near Babylon. After this victory, his army easily ran over the Persian Empire, and he had conquered Persia. One of his most famous things that he did was, while he tried to move farther east and conquer as far as Pakistan and even into India, his soldiers refused to go any farther, and he agreed to turn back home. On their way back, they crossed one desert. A desert in what is now in southern Iran. Heat and thirst killed thousands of his soldiers, and a group of soldiers found a little water and scooped it up into a helmet. They offered it to Alexander, but he took the helmet and poured the water on the ground. This effect made it the equivalent to a drink for every man in the army. And that was basically Alexander's story. When they returned home 10 days later, he died of a fever.